I didn't tell my husband I miscarried. I needed 2 weeks before I could say it out loud, and he told his mother before I could. The first time I miscarried, we told people the same day. I was barely 8 weeks. We'd just been so excited, and I think we both thought that sharing it would somehow make it easier to carry. What it actually did was extend it. My mother-in-law drove over with flowers. My mom drove 3 hours. For the next 2 months, every dinner, every phone call, every family gathering had this undercurrent of everyone watching me carefully. Gentle questions about whether I'd talked to a doctor yet about trying again. Heads tilted when they looked at me. I was the woman who lost her baby in every room I walked into for a long time. So when it happened again at 11 weeks, I told myself I wasn't doing that. Not yet. I just needed 2 weeks to sit with it before I had to be that for everyone again. I was going to tell Marcus. Obviously, I was going to tell him. I just needed to find a way to get the word out first. Because every time I tried, my throat would close and nothing came. I'd been crying in the shower and barely eating, and when he asked what was wrong, I said I was just having a hard time. He'd been patient. I thought he was giving me space. What I didn't know was that his mother had been texting him every few days asking about the pregnancy. She'd mentioned she was already knitting something in yellow. She kept asking if we knew the gender yet. She wanted to start planning a shower, and on day 12, she called him on his way home from work, and I guess he couldn't figure out what to say anymore, so he just said it. I found out at 7 p.m. when my phone buzzed with a text from her. It started with "sweetheart" and ran 3 full paragraphs. She was heartbroken for us. She loved us both so much. She was there for whatever we needed. Did I want her to come stay for a few days? She had food she could bring. She'd already called Marcus's aunt to let her know. I sat there and read it 3 times. He walked in about 10 minutes later, and I was still at the kitchen table holding my phone. He saw my face, put his keys down very slowly. "She called me on the way home," he said. "You told her." She kept asking. She asked me straight out if something was wrong, and I didn't. "Who else?" He paused, and the pause answered before he did. His mom had asked him to tell his brother, so he wouldn't say something at dinner by accident. His brother told his wife. That was it, he said. 4 people total. 12 days I'd been carrying this without saying it once, not even to myself in the mirror, and 4 people already knew, he said. I was grieving too. I needed someone to talk to, and you weren't letting me in. I didn't want to push you. I understand that it was his loss too. I do. But I looked at him in the doorway and I said, you needed someone to talk to, so you talked to everyone except me. He tried to explain. He said I'd been shutting him out, that he didn't know how to reach me, that he was scared watching me disappear, and he hadn't realized I was still keeping it private. He thought I just couldn't talk yet, not that I hadn't said it to anyone at all. He said he thought he was protecting me from having to explain it 100 times by handling some of it himself, and I heard all of it. But what I kept coming back to was that his mother had written the word in a text and sent it to my phone before I had ever once said it out loud. She'd typed, "I'm so sorry about the miscarriage, sweetheart," and I'd read it sitting at my own kitchen table, and that was the first time I'd ever seen that sentence completed. About my body. About my pregnancy. He said he was sorry. He sat down across from me and looked genuinely destroyed about it, and I could see he hadn't meant it as a betrayal. But I told him I needed him in the guest room for a few nights. He started to say something and I said, please, just this one thing. He did. His mom texted twice before 9 a.m. the next morning asking if she could bring food over. I didn't answer. By noon there were 4 more. The last one said she hoped I wasn't upset with her for knowing that Marcus had just sounded so lost when she called. I turned my phone off and drove to my mom's house without texting first. Sat in her kitchen while she made coffee and didn't ask anything. We sat there for maybe 20 minutes, just quiet. Then I said it out loud for the first time. I had a miscarriage. My mom set down her mug and came around the table and held on to me, and I cried for a long time. His mother has left 9 voicemails since Tuesday.